Okay, before I go into some possibly complex translation of these glyphs, I'll just say like how these things came about. Like even on this cardboard, appears to be a blank piece of cardboard I've drawn on, but there are like tiny patterns in the cardboard. The only way I can describe it is, you know, those 3D images that just appear like a bunch of stuff, like some colourful pattern that doesn't really have any defined image on it, but when you stare at it long enough, all of a sudden a 3D image pops out at you. And I'm pretty sure that's because, like, when you bring it close to your face and then move it away, which is a way to assist to bring the image out of the 3D pop out, I think it does something to the eyes which help cross the hemispheres of the brain. And eventually you're able to see the hidden image behind the veil, kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much the same concept of like what I'm working with here, except the image is in some other reality that I'm connecting to, and I'm projecting it here onto a blank surface that's being used in its minute patterns, you know, to be drawn around. Yeah, some pretty interesting creatures. I mean, there's like animal cross human, there's all sorts of things. There's a bunny rabbit over here that you can't see. I'm not even going to show it to you. Like, I don't draw bunny rabbits, man. Like, these creatures, like somewhat of like a midget astronaut, I don't know, like, yeah, like just some. I had to scan these. I left my house for 2 days and had this big storage container, like decent size, and yeah, it disappeared, the whole thing. There's a lot of hard copies of like writing I did. Luckily I'd backed up everything on USBs and hid it away, but this was just in my house in the garage and nothing else got lifted, except all this information and stuff. So that was pretty weird. Don't know what's going on there. But it did happen beneath some portal. Like, I could see the portal in the sky. Things were moving in and out of it. Yeah, anyway, let's get straight to the translation. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna attempt to translate this dude. As you can see here, he's got 2 points. There's another glyph of this same dude without the pointed hands or whatever he's got. He looks like nearly holding knives, like he's got the what do you call it, the wrist guard there. Sorry, Scalagram, if there's an actual name for that, but yeah. So anywhere you see the X, and the X is on this being, which has interesting relationships, it's from a culture or society that has come across these events, which seem to be, I call them crossings. There's a gap, something that needs to be crossed, like a natural disaster, like, yeah, there's other things that are associated environmentally with these crossings as well, like plasma events, plasma discharges in the sky, which a lot of people are talking about. And yeah, we're going to get into inorganic beings, and them using this extra electromagnetic activity and plasma to gain more form and appear in this reality more with that extra energy. and I believe that some of them themselves are involved in the crossing, not just human beings, like because of the displacement of poles and other magnetic lines, energy highways that they use and travel along, become dislodged or displaced for a moment in time. They probably around as well, like running around a bit more, trying to hook up with their pals or whatever, trying to find energy sources. It's going to show how they need to join together to pierce this reality. I don't know if that's an energetic thing. Okay, so anyway, interpreting this, we're going to go to Egypt. Can't really see this being, but I've done another vid, and now this isn't just, I did a vid, I didn't explain, oh yeah, they had technology, whatever, the Dendara light bulb situation, describe something else entirely, a covenant, two houses, showing different beings, and one of the beings also has two raised knives. Now their knives are a bit hostile, but that shows it's this actual character. The character's cut out, it's some weird reptilian. It doesn't appear anywhere in really Egyptian mythology or among the pantheon. But two metal objects held up can produce an arc of electricity between them. The arc of the covenant. Yeah, the power is what these guys are after, not just using us as an energy source, but yeah. So you see those two raised objects, and this entity also at what is depicting plasma discharge events and the beings they seen as a result, is a similar creature. Well, they're not all, even the stick figures, they may appear human, they're not, and why they're drawn in stick figures is highly relevant too, which is what we're going to discuss. Discuss their true form. So I don't know, maybe we'll go through another, don't know what to, maybe we'll look at this first. Now there's a lot of dots that seem to appear. This is the Queen's chamber. This is one of the small entries to it, and there's like some very non-Egyptian things on the outer walls. Yeah, this is some more weird composite symmetrical beings. This is from a more symmetrical universe. Whatever we know, ours is not. It's very hard to find perfectly symmetrical things, and I think the pyramids are a example of someone that is from this reality, not a DMT reality, but yeah, somewhere specific that is away from these DMT beings, plasma beings, or inorganic beings. Now I'm going to use the term inorganic beings to describe a wide range of beings, not just one particular group. Even the dreaming body can be considered an inorganic being. Okay, so we got like, oh man, I'll keep the camera up, like, so we got the male side here, which is something, and then we got the female, which is skeletal. There's geometry in here that you can't see on the camera, but if you've got that kind of vision to look into things, yeah, geometry will appear. But this is like an X-ray of, you can see, I might use the mouse here to outline the head. Here we see a big bulbous head, shoulders, comes down here, rib cages, but it is a skeleton because we can come down here, we can see the hip bones, and it goes down to the pelvis where we see it's pretty much female genitalia, but there's some other element coming out of it down here. Now as we can see the dots, there are dots here, there are definite dots all over here. These are important points as these dots appear in the plasma glyphs as well. Now this predates Egyptian culture, just like the pyramids. As Osiris existed at the end of an epoch too, he's represented with the X. The X also is representative of the crossing of the hemispheres of the brain. It's all a mirror relationship with words and events. All things tie in. But yeah, I'm going to discuss the dots later. I just wanted to show you an example of something that's X-ray. Like this thing looks like an android, basically, like a robotic skeleton nearly, with some high technology, and there's other beings within it too. So yeah, composite beings, just remember that term, because I'm going to use it, it's going to pop up. Okay, so now we might go into some of the actual petroglyphs. I can talk about, okay, like, so they did certain plasma discharge experiments in the lab, and they came up, certain shapes or whatever emerged from those experiments that match the glyphs that, you know, natives have done all around the world. And so yeah, these are different glyphs from different parts of the world, like different continents, like Spain, America. Yeah, and like we see the dots here. Got this third leg thing. Gonna go probably maybe a bit more into that in the future. But so in essence, we could be looking at like a plasma being, something that is conscious or can gain conscious or conscious awareness. Yeah, the dots, like, it's a basis, a skeleton. Like when you see an inorganic being, its form can differ, but when you really see and you look through it, the inorganic being's form will be a lot like these, and they can appear to look like, their skeleton looks like numbers or letters joined together that highly represent like letters, like a letter P, a letter T, just like I showed you in my own little hieroglyphic download. Oh god, where is it now? But anyway, here's one of the things I used. I just sketched. So yeah, it's weird. These animals, oh, okay, so yeah, like things like that. Okay, here's one, joined together. I got what, some animal creature, like looking at a Z, with a shop phase Z obviously representing the end. It's like, oh, okay, shit, yeah, bit of shock there, not just for us, I like these things too. Where the hell did it go? Let's find it here again, I guess. So yeah, there's one of them, kind of reaching more form with a round head. Okay, back to the glyphs. Where were we? Okay, so yeah, the things with the dots around them, as I showed you, the dots are important. They're like points where, you know, the form can like mold itself around like its own energetic skeleton. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Like, these things aren't human. A lot of them like look like human, like, and they draw them as stickman. There's just some patterns. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can probably see it. Like, these look like human, but see how they are all joined together and joined together in formation. Don't know if you remember me mentioning this. I don't even know if I did actually. When they come into this reality, like usually, if they want to, they join together. Like, they need to join that power together to pierce that layer and become visible here even, and to abduct people too. It's like, on their own, that's pretty hard. They have to join together to do that. So yeah, you're not looking at human beings there. You're looking at something that's joined together, and usually in formation. Like, when you see their ships, or whatever they travel in, whatever you want to call them, like, they separate once they're here. They separate. So it's another example of these things joining together. Now, ancient humans did try and mimic these things as well. They tried to kind of design themselves on the inorganic beings, which ended up being a bad idea. So through this forgetfulness of history, like, we could face the same repeated problem. What else we got here? Yeah, we got like things that resemble robotics as well, and from what I've seen, entering these other twin realities and dimensions, is they do have mechanical machinery, and yeah, it could be probably what they use to come here as well, obviously. But yeah, I've never seen that actual machinery here. Seen it in other realms, but these glyphs seem to be depicting, once again, you see the dots everywhere. Like, this could be a fleet of ships. It's highly representative of inorganic beings from their machine world. Yeah. Or whatever their matrix is. Yeah, the dots. There's lines there too. Like when I've seen UFOs, they've either been balls or big rectangular, kind of bright, luminous objects. Once again, like, see, like, we had, this thing's obviously not human, it's got, like, you know, different head and stuff, and but as you've seen in those stick figure people joined together in formation, this thing has the same formation. You've got to look at these simple associations, because it's telling you what the hell's going on, what they are. So they're not people joined together in formation, they're like something like this. Yeah, check out that Dendara light bulb pic. So we got the hands as well. What can I say about this? So that was that same being that had the two knives, indicative of that deity in the Dendara light bulb picture. So it's one of the more organised head honchos of their crew. Now the hands are very interesting. Like, you got the middle fingers here with some tips. Now at the time, like, yeah, this old chick is heavily involved with these archons, like, kind of did some things to break that connection with them, and she ended up cutting the tips of her fingers, which is a really interesting injury. I thought, shit, I'll back off, like, you know, this chick's obviously, you know, theirs, like, brought into being basically by their influences, and severing that connection with them brought her harm. So I thought, yeah, fuck it, leave it alone. You know, it's just, I don't want everyone to be like these things, little playthings. Anyway, see what those choices. But yeah, it's just interesting, the middle finger and the knives, but also these things coming out of the side of the hand. Can't really see them, but they're there. Now, it's more like a turkey head, and there are like things with ducks on their heads and like things like that. Yeah, it's trying to tell you like these connections. Now the hands are an entity of their own, nearly. I know myself. You know, they've got feelings, not feelings, but like sometimes they act on their own accord, like they're directly connected to your brain, your consciousness. They're like, I don't know, and when it comes to these things, they have separate parts to themselves, which can, like I'm talking about composite beings, separate energetic parts that can separate from themselves. Even this entity is probably a composite being of some sort, and if you could see it energetically, not in its like this form here, you would probably see what its composites are in its energetic skeleton or energetic makeup. Yeah, we're going to get more into composite beings. Yeah, there's old mate again. You see like this reversed situation. Like I said, letters and numbers. 4. So he might be like a 4. He might have like 4 things in composite with him. Like you see this, it looks like empty space that would fit in there. It's kind of represents the spaces in between space to me, which is where probably mine should be, and eventually you'll be able to see what's in between the spaces. Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's like, okay, so before I see things or something happens, like, this is pretty much an eye with like jagged lines. If you start seeing like these jagged line frequencies in your mind's eye, get fucking prepared, eh? Because yeah, something's coming right for you. Whether it be information, whether it could be another reality moving towards you. But they experienced it, like whether it was like more electricity in the air and it's like affecting their mental state, and they're able to see it. Like, yeah, this is an eye. To me, it's an eye. And the jagged lines are telling us that they're seeing, yeah, what's on the way. There's something happening to them as well, in their mind, in their mind's eye. This is just some glyphs that they said pretty much came out of like languages that spawned out of plasma discharge events, like mimicking those shapes and giving them meanings. What's that crap? This is. I was going to show you, like, there's this double-headed turkey coat of arms. Yeah, which like kind of reminds me of the two hands with the things coming off the wrist, which looks like actually beaks. Yeah, okay, so I'll leave it there. It's gone for a while, and I'll do one more video on composite beings based on a ancient Mayan artifact known as the Jade Mask. Alright, catch you soon.